The decision to postpone Saturday's home match against Luton came as no surprise following the worst winter in decades. It's the second time this fixture has fallen victim to the weather, after the original tie was called off for a waterlogged pitch in November. Local referee Russell Booth came to inspect the Field Mill pitch yesterday, but the final decision to abandon the game was made at 9 o'clock this morning. Sub-zero temperatures have left the ground staff powerless to do anything.
We've got no pitch covers, which, to be quite honest, wouldn't have helped with the severity of the weather we've had. Notts County had their covered and still had games off because it's been that cold.
When it eventually does thaw out, what do you do then?
Well, I think we're going to have a look at the forecast early next week and maybe see if we can get volunteers in and clear a lot of it off, because we're going to start getting floods then. We're back to square one with the wet weather.
That will be the danger, won't it? Because of course there's 5 inches of snow on here as the blanket, if you like, and then below that a further 6 inches of frost.
Yeah, that's the trouble. Like I say, we had 5 or 6 days before the snow came, which has put 5 or 6 inches of frost in the ground, which is going to come out, so that's going to come to the surface, plus 5 or 6 inches snow on top, which is going to drop on it as well, so it's an hard one.
The terraces are also unsafe, and the snow is making staff and players unable to park in their usual slots. This is the second cancellation of the season following our postponement at Wrexham in early December. It will mean that a backlog of games will now be held towards the end of the campaign, and midweek matches will now be more frequent. Clubs up and down the land will be hoping for the big freeze to thaw so that games can be played and the coffers strengthened. Manager David Holdsworth will now have to wait another week for Blue Square action, but next Saturday's match away at AFC Wimbledon is far from certain.
It affects us because we wanted to play, of course we did, but the boys were in for training, and obviously we'll fight Luton another day. We were certainly looking forward to that match, and I'm sure the fans were. So it's a disappointment, but disappointments are only measured by how well you're doing, and we're doing very well at the moment, and we're very pleased with where we are. But we want to push on. But the boys are training hard, and I've had no qualms about the levels they're at. And would have had a couple of days off due to the weather. We're not dissimilar to anybody else, and there's lots of managers. I spoke to one manager yesterday, he's stranded half the way around the country, and he can't even get the training. So, for me, I'm delighted to be in the club and working hard and on developing situations, perhaps, and dealing with the current squad. They're a wonderful bunch to work with.
Both clubs are trying to rearrange the game for February, a month which Mansfield already have 7 fixtures to play.